Well, the moment that I'm sure some of you YouTubers have been looking forward to. Finally got this thing on the road. Still got a little bit of work to do on it, but for the most part it's roadworthy. Gets about 26 miles to the gallon. Of course, for those of you who are just tuning in, this is a 1990 Chevy Lumina Euro 3.1. I picked up for $100. For $100 it looks pretty clean. On the inside now, got a little bit of rust on it. The radio in the car didn't really work like it ought to, and it got worse with time, so I was shopping at Meijer one night and perusing the bargain rack when I found one of these dual brand receivers for about a $60 bill including speakers. I didn't need the speakers, so maybe I'll keep them for another project or I'll sell them or something. But for those of you that have been watching, I'm sure you'd all like to see what this thing does on the highway, and it does pretty well. It does even better now I've got enough transmission fluid in it, which was definitely a problem. It runs good, and I can't find any evidence whatsoever that the intake manifold gaskets on this car are bad. In fact, it seems to be running great. It does have a tendency sometimes when it's idling or coming down after being at speed, it wants to stall out, and I haven't figured that out yet. But I've got her all licensed and insured and all that good stuff. And well, here we are getting out on the highway. Been thinking about where we should take a fine car like this. I'm thinking the farm's a good choice. The oil gauge is still a little loopy, as you can see. Doesn't really do what it should. But here we are out on the highway running 60 miles an hour. Just as nice as you could ask. We got tunes that actually work. I still love this console mounted shifter too. What a car. Now, the nice thing about being out on a country road like this is that you can really see what a car is capable of. Not that I do such a thing or even recommend that you try it. Farm over there across the way. We're almost to it. Here we are. Well, what do you know? Somebody's out here today. It's the Keykeeper. What do you suppose he's up to? True to form, there's his big brown piece of crap. There's the old forgotten grain truck, which we haven't forgotten about. It's just kind of on the back burner. We've been busy getting the big brown piece of crap going. And of course this fine automobile too. But here we are out at the farm. We really made it. So, Keykeeper! Looks like you got your big brown truck back.
Yeah, it's already full of crap.
Yeah, except we didn't put the topper back on it this time.
So I can fit more crap in it.
Well, I'm thinking this is more of a solution for when it gets full of crap. You just take it down the highway and with the tailgate down, and suddenly the crap is no longer a problem. Now, the guy in the Honda Accord behind you might not agree, but you'll be fine. So tell me a little bit about what you had to do to get it going again. Yeah, shut that off. Gas is like $4 a gallon.
Yeah.
Speaking of that, we've actually had our first gasoline theft in a very long time out here. Somebody stole the gasoline out of that orange tractor back there, which is very amazing. Well, maybe not in this era of $4 a gallon gas. So what all did you
do to get my brown piece of crap working again was put a new fuel pump in it, run some new lines, put the bed on it, and put 8 bed bolts in, but only 6 are tight.
And that's something that the guy behind you on the highway might not appreciate either. We also tried to get the air conditioning working on this thing. We're going to try to charge it up, and to get it to help it along a little bit, we jumped across the low pressure switch, and the system surprised us by cooling so incredibly well with just a little bit of extra refrigerant added that it was fogging up the windows on the hot and humid 90-degree day that we tried this. But the curious thing is, apparently we didn't really have a leak like we thought we did. It was a little low, but not very much. It turns out that the pressure cutout switch is bad on this thing, so that's something we'll have to work on in future. I'm also going to fix the air on the Lumina if I get a chance, because the previous owner informed me that it really had really good air conditioning when it worked. So I'll have to try that too. Of course, it's an R12 system, so I might have to convert it. So is that all you...
Water?
What's that?
Did you bring some water?
Of course I brought some water, Keykeeper.
I've been out here just 2 months.
Well, what do you want, a medal?
What do you want?
A punch in the nose. Maybe I'll get one. So you had to run some fuel lines and things like that. Does the fuel gauge sender seem to work like it ought to now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So at least for a little while, the Keykeeper's big brown piece of crap is on the road again. But I got what I deserve for calling it that. My truck has developed an electrical problem, and that's why I had to get the Lumina on the road, because the K-car's been acting up recently. And that's pretty much the story there. So I got exactly what I had coming to me for making fun of the Keykeeper's truck. My truck is down with an electrical problem at the moment.